US-China trade war enters new dimension as China pledges willingness to cut tariffs this year and high tension. Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele confirms that Nigeria's external reserves are to hit $50 billion soon. Now, Africa's telecommunication giant MTN indicates intention to raise $400 million from initial public offering. You're watching Pride Television, and this is the Global Business Review with me, Emmanuel Akinboa. The brewing tension on a trade war between the world's largest economies went a not Cold War mentality. Well, here with me to explore the angles to this global trade war story is Joy Owuka, a business correspondent with BWS. Hello, good morning to you, Joy. All right. The news has been trending for some days now, but it appears we have a new dimension to the story. So what's happening? What's the signal we're getting from the two powerhouses, China and the United States, on this development? Global economies. Do you think this is more of a political campaign and not based on economic necessities for United States businesses? Is this more like Donald Trump or the United States government trying to flex its political muscle, or this is like a business decision that the United States government have to take at this point in time?
Well, I won't say the president of the United States is trying to flex political muscle, because when he came in, I told you he had a 4-point agenda, and one of that is the historic tax cut. And now we have seen this earlier on when Donald Trump he has cut down taxes for companies. Now this is one of the historic things that he has done in the American business world, because with the cut of taxes, it's now those companies can now actually channel this excess money they pay in tax back into the economy. So,
organization, with China's intention or decision to play ball in court now, to ride the storm, what do you think the WTO can do now? Can they now bring both parties to the table and get some concession on both parts? Since China's decided to have some concession, perhaps the United States would also consider some concessions on their part.
Oh, well, you know, the WTO is the international organization in charge of trade between two nations. And of course, the WTO has a due process it has to follow in situations like this. And since China as a country has made, it's filed a formal complaint, the WTO, it's expected that it will follow through with its due process and then come out with a formal statement. Since China, President Xi Jinping has come out to say that China is willing to lower rates, the WTO is yet to make any formal announcement on this. So we expect that the WTO would go on with
look at the
its own due process, consider the terms of which the Chinese government is willing to lower its process, and look at consider the American government also, and to also see on what terms would they be willing to agree to what the Chinese government is offering. So these are the things that the WTO has to consider before it comes up with its own result of policies from what Chinese government has said.
Complaints. Okay, let's look at the United States. China has come out to say, okay, we're willing to cut back on some of this tariff. We're willing to at least accommodate some of this excesses from the United States government. Let's look at the United States government. How would they reciprocate this? Would the United States government also, are there possible areas where they would also cut back on their threats? Do you think there are some areas where the United States may just soften their stand, as it were, right now?
Well, you see, since the Chinese government made this formal declaration, the United States government has not made a formal announcement towards this. Although the American president, Donald Trump, tweeted in response to what the Chinese president said, where he said both governments would be willing to work together. But, you know, that's the president's own opinion. Both governments have to formally come together. Now we expect that since the Chinese government is showing willingness to lower its own tariffs, we expect that the American president would also be willing to do this. And now let's not forget the fact that this whole issue started with Donald Trump trying to protect America's intellectual property. So obviously there are certain portions where we probably might not see him cutting a slack for the Chinese government. But we hope, and we hope that the American president and the Chinese government would be able to sit together at the negotiating table and come up with results that would be favorable for the world's economy at large.
Okay, and before we wrap up with this discussion, let's just look at what does this now mean for the global economy. Some cherry news about the tension between the two global economies. When the news broke last week, the markets reacted sharply on the negative news that the two global economies may be heading into what many call a Cold War or a trade war. But with this concession from the Chinese part, and with the expectation that the United States government may also come with some concessions, what does this mean for the wider global economy? Do you think perhaps now markets can now rebound with the assurance or with the confidence that this may not actually be as bad or as terrible as NBC?
Well, like you just said now, it's hopeful that markets would be able to bounce back because since the Chinese government is showing willingness, we expect the American government to also do the same. And this would also boost confidence on the part of manufacturers, and then the markets would stabilize with what the Chinese government has done. So we expect more stability. We expect to see it boost investors' confidence. We expect people to come out now and trade more. And we expect that the markets would also stabilize and react positively to this.
Okay. All right. I've been joined on this discussion. Well, welcome back. It's still the Global Business Review on Pride Television. The Nigerian Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele has confirmed that Nigeria's external reserve will hit $50 billion before the end of 2018. The foreign reserves that have recovered significantly from a low of over $23 billion in October 2016 to about $47.3 billion of April 2018. Okay, so Charles Aboide, our business correspondent at VWS and an analyst, will sit with me now to provide analysis into Nigeria's growing foreign reserve. Welcome to the program, Charles.
Thank you very much.
Some cherry news coming from the CBN. Perhaps Nigeria's foreign reserve is growing by the day.
Yeah, definitely.
Fill us in on the figures and what exactly is responsible for this cherry news.
Okay. First of all, I will start with trend or the growth foreign reserve. 2016 rather, Nigeria experienced recession in which they came out of it after third quarter of 2007. So from $28.3 billion spread down to around $27 billion. Then in 2017, owing to the economic stability and the real GDP growth rate in 2017 was growing at 0.8%, which 2016 was a negative 1.6%. Now, 2017, the external reserves was at $38.8 billion. Then at the beginning of this year, 2018, the reserve was around between $38 billion to $40 billion. And from January down to February, it moved up 42. Then 42 from February to March, it moved to 46. And just last week, the CBN just announced that the external reserve has grown, April, around above $47 billion. And it's a good thing, it's a good news.
It's a cherry
to Nigeria. Yeah, very, very cherry. And there are some factors, led to it. Now, if we look at the stability in the national economy, there has been a stable growth rate in the economy. And with this growth rate, looking at 2017, unlike 2016, from 2015, we had the GDP growth rate of like 2.7%. Then 2016, we fell to a negative. Then 2017, the economy became stable. Now 2018, we now see the effect of external reserve